Sea cucumbers are not only delicious but also incredibly prolific breeders. They play an important role in our aquatic ecosystems. Globally, there are 950 different species of sea cucumbers, of which about 18 are edible. In Australia, there are 3 main types of sea cucumbers harvested for food: the purple or short-spined sea cucumber, the long-spined sea cucumber, and the red sea cucumber. The purple sea cucumber is native to Australia and is found in the coastal waters of southern Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, South Australia, and Western Australia. They are typically found at diving depths of up to 10 meters, though they can also be found as deep as 35 meters. The long-spined sea cucumber is most common in southeastern Australia, ranging from southern Queensland to the coastal areas of Tasmania. The red sea cucumber ranges from southern Queensland to southern New South Wales, with the best harvesting period being from late spring to early summer during low tide events. You can collect sea cucumbers by wading through the water and picking up those that have become stranded. If you have a snorkel and mask, you can dive down and use a knife to pry them loose. However, because their spines are very sharp, you should wear gloves and be extremely careful. Harvesting should only be done in calm waters, and you must be cautious of strong waves to avoid being swept away or injured on rocks. Having a good understanding of the ocean is crucial. Although they may seem almost indestructible, with just a couple of spoons and some careful technique, they are actually quite easy to open. There are some specialized tools available on the market for opening sea cucumbers, but if you don't plan on harvesting and using them regularly, purchasing these tools isn't necessary. With 2 spoons and a few bowls of ice water, you can easily extract sea cucumber roe. Hold the sea cucumber vertically. Place 1 spoon pressing down on the top and the second spoon back to back with the first, creating a pointed edge. Apply enough pressure to crack the shell. Then wedge the 2 spoons together and gently pry the shell open. Use your hands to carefully pull the shell apart and shake the contents into a container. You'll see yellow-orange eggs around the edge of the shell. Place a small spoon behind the roe and gently pry it out. The roe is very soft, so be gentle to keep it intact. Rinse the roe in the first bowl of ice water, then soak it in the second bowl for about 1 to 2 minutes before transferring it to a plate to dry. It's best to process the sea cucumbers on the same day they are caught and store them on a damp paper towel. To preserve the maximum flavor and nutrition, they should be eaten the same day. However, if kept below 3 degrees, the RO can stay fresh for up to 4 days. While freezing is possible, it will affect the texture and flavor. The roe has a smooth, creamy texture and a fresh ocean taste and can be eaten raw or cooked. The simplest way to enjoy sea cucumber is to eat it raw, paired with a bit of lemon and soy sauce. The roe is incredibly versatile. It has no umami flavor and can be used in sushi, added to pasta, or made into a butter, suitable for any occasion. It's a fantastic alternative to other seafood dishes like garlic shrimp, scallops, and more. Eating sea cucumber not only brings a new experience of flavor and texture to your palate, but also plays a key role in balancing coastal ecosystems. You'll notice that at the edges of the sea cucumber's shell, there are remnants shaped like rectangles. In recent years, sea cucumbers have become incredibly popular here. We can barely keep them in the tanks, as people from all over come to buy them. The golden orange roe of the sea cucumber is like edible gold from the ocean. I mean, just look at this guy from Los Angeles. He's a satisfied customer. So, you might ask, what makes sea cucumber so special? The experience of eating live sea cucumber versus one prepared for sushi is entirely different. As Sushi FAQ notes, fresh roe taken directly from a live sea cucumber commands the highest price and is worth trying, because it is significantly different from roe that has been processed over 24 hours. Eating live sea cucumber is a completely unique experience. Just crack it open, rinse it, and enjoy. The texture and flavor are exactly the same. It's hard to describe the taste of sea cucumber. Imagine trying to describe the flavor of a food to someone who's never tasted it. It's nearly impossible. Asking others about their impressions can give us some clues. Most people say it tastes like pure ocean, or has a delicious subtle sweetness? I know that doesn't say much about the exact taste, but everyone agrees. It's delicious. The experience of eating live sea cucumber is quite striking. When you open one, the spines are still moving. That's right. When you're ready to eat them, they're still moving. If you don't believe me, just watch. Yes, it may sound a bit creepy, but what other food is still moving when you eat it? We admit it's a little strange, but honestly, it's also pretty exciting. In fact, sea cucumbers can still move for over 30 minutes after being opened. Also, be prepared for this exotic dish to become a conversation piece. People around you will be curious in all sorts of ways. So get ready, because sea cucumbers help you make new friends. And making new friends is always fun, right? So next time you get the chance to try live sea cucumber, don't hesitate. You might end up loving it. Recently, green sea cucumbers have become one of the most valuable resources in Maine. Sea cucumber roe is considered a delicacy in Europe, Japan, and some ethnic markets in the northeastern United States. However, it's the Japanese market that has driven the rapid growth of the fishery. Fishermen's success is owed to the abundant resources, favorable exchange rate between the yen and the dollar, and the development of harvesting and processing techniques that meet Japan's high-quality standards. But with the distance and demand for premium products, the question remains: is this market sustainable? What harvesting methods are most beneficial for the long-term sustainability of the resource? From an ocean ecology perspective, what impact does removing large quantities of sea cucumber from coastal areas have? These are the challenges we'll face in the coming years as this emerging fishery pushes the limits of the resource. In Maine, sea cucumber harvesting has existed for many years, but before 1985, the catch was limited to about 45 metric tons, just enough to supply ethnic markets in Boston and New York. Starting in 1987, catch volumes began to increase significantly, reaching nearly 12,000 metric tons by 1992, valued at over $26 million. The value of the catch rose from under $50,000 before 1987 to nearly $15 million by 1990. Preliminary catch data from 1993 indicated approximately 15,000 metric tons. The highest quality sea cucumber roe is typically found in relatively shallow waters, densely distributed at depths around 40 feet. The most common harvesting methods are small bottom trawls or free diving. Airlift or water pump methods may also be used. Diving mainly takes place along the western coast, where tidal currents are less intense than on the eastern coast. A typical diving team consists of one or more divers, a raft, and an operator. Divers collect the roe from the seafloor and place it into mesh bags. The operator pulls the bags up and dumps them into containers on deck, while a deckhand continuously monitors the quality of the catch. In areas where diving is not feasible, sea cucumbers are harvested using trawls. In general, trawling can cause more damage, potentially reducing the quality of the catch. Small, light trawls are typically towed for short periods, around 6 minutes, to minimize damage. The quality of sea cucumber roe varies greatly, largely depending on the season and habitat. Kelp is the preferred food source for sea cucumbers, and those feeding on kelp produce the highest quality roe. Successful harvesting is not as simple as just picking up sea cucumbers. Most high-quality specimens are found in what's called the supply line, the narrow band of land just beneath the kelp layer. The ideal harvesting method is to collect only high-quality sea cucumbers from this supply line, allowing others to move into the feeding area and develop premium roe. Sea cucumbers can be sold year-round, but most spawn in early spring, from November to March, when their reproductive tissue is best suited for commercial harvesting. Before the roe fully develops, the sea cucumber's spines are very fragile, so harvesting must be done carefully, especially when trawling. These spines are part of the animal's skeleton. If they break, seawater can enter the shell, damaging the stored roe. Since 1987, the number of sea cucumber harvesters has grown significantly, as they can work in relatively shallow waters using basic diving equipment, and the prices have remained favorable. So far, the market appears capable of absorbing all high-quality sea cucumbers that can be harvested. Until January 1991, the exact number of harvesters could only be estimated, as only a general commercial fishing license was required. Starting January 1, 1992, a special permit from the Department of Marine Resources became mandatory for sea cucumber harvesting. In 1992, the permit cost was $89, whether for hand harvesting or boat-based operations. That year, 887 hand harvest permits and 232 boat harvest permits were issued. By 1993, the numbers had risen to 1,439 hand harvest permits and 568 boat harvest permits. Japanese consumers have a strong preference for sea cucumber roe, the golden orange reproductive tissue, which can fetch high prices at auctions in Tokyo's fish markets. Domestic harvesting in Japan is not enough to meet demand, so they import sea cucumber roe from all over the world. Since the 1970s, the markets in California and British Columbia have been very active, where several species of sea cucumber, such as the large red sea cucumber, the purple sea cucumber, and the green sea cucumber, have been targeted for harvest. As populations along the West Coast declined, the focus shifted to Maine and Canadian provinces, where green sea cucumbers are abundant. The key to the sea cucumber roe market is quality. This is not just a vague statement. It refers to a very specific set of standards: freshness, precise color, accurate weight, and product preparation. The market truly began to develop only after Japanese representatives came to Maine and explained the conditions required to meet their market's needs. Even today, many processors in Maine hire Japanese experts to oversee production. Sea cucumber roe is graded by color, and each buyer may have their own specific standard. The roe's color ranges from pale yellow to orange and gray, but pale yellow is considered the highest grade, followed by light orange. Different segments of the Japanese market have their own preferences for various shades of yellow. The Maine Cooperative Extension and the Maine Department of Marine Resources created a color and weight chart to help buyers, distributors, and harvesters discuss the quality of sea cucumber roe. Roe weight is measured based on the total weight of the sea cucumber. The optimal yield ratio ranges from 10% to 20%. Though higher ratios generally command better prices, in most cases, 10% is the minimum viable ratio. Though in recent years, as demand has grown, some distributors have accepted sea cucumbers with very low yields. A 10% yield means 1,000 sea cucumbers are needed to produce 100 units of product. Along the Maine coast, there are approximately 56 sea cucumber buying stations, but most sea cucumbers are sold to just a few major distributors, primarily in the Portland area. There are two methods of handling sea cucumbers. One is to airship the whole sea cucumbers directly to Japan. The other is to extract the roe at processing plants and ship the roe to Japan by air. The advantage of the first method is simplicity. It requires the least labor and handling. The advantage of the second method is lower air freight costs, but it demands careful processing, a larger workforce, and carries a higher risk of product rejection in Japan. With advancements in processing technology, many major distributors now process sea cucumbers in Maine and export the RO to Japan. Currently, there is no scientific consensus on the population size of sea cucumbers along the Maine coast or the level of harvest needed to optimize roe production. It's no surprise that opinions on this issue range from the belief that there is a vast untapped resource to concerns that the stock is nearing depletion. At the end of the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.